Well, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to live day one coverage of the first major championship of the 2023 KLPGA Tour season. I'm Timothy Lowe, so wonderful to have your company here at beautiful Lakewood Country Club. Opened back in 1971 in the city of Yangju. It's a nice, bright, sunny day with temperatures just in the high teens. Scoring conditions are pretty much perfect for some of the best on the KLPGA Tour. These are some of the feature groups this afternoon. Lee So-mi, Lee So-young, and Sung Yu-jin. All three winners back in 2022. Looking to get their 2023 off to a major start. Broke through last year, as did Lee Ga-young, and off at noon. The big power packed threesome of Park Min-ji, Lee Jung-min, and the fascinating 19-year-old Kim Bi-yeol. In the group behind them, the defending champion, Kim Hae-lim, off a top 5 finish at the Chevron Championship on the LPGA Tour last week in the company of last week's winner, Choi Yeon-woo, and the lady who currently leads the Order of Merit and the points list, Park Ji-young. Should be a fascinating contest, so delighted you could join us here on day one of this 72-hole championship. It's a 1.3 billion Korean won prize purse up for grabs this week. Choi Yeon-rim, she's off to a decent start. Couple under par, third shot to the 492-meter 11th. Just a little long there for Choi Yeon-rim. A player who knocked on the door for so much of her career, finally being able to pick up that elusive breakthrough title, as could be said for this young lady, Lee Ga-young, who won the KreaS Championship, the modified Stableford event on the KLPGA Tour last year, in her 78th start as a professional. Yep. Pretty tidy shot there for Ga-young. She's currently 2 over par for this opening round. Rounding out this group, Kim Ji-hyun, who started with a disastrous double bogey at her opening hole. Dropped a shot at 2, bounced back with a couple of birdies, so she's only 1 over the card as things stand. Could be getting back to even par very shortly. Nicely played there from Kim Ji-hyun. Points and money up for grabs this week. Lee Da-yeon always plays quite a limited schedule on the KLPGA Tour, but when she does show up, oh, she is very good indeed. That birdie putt just running out of pace a touch, but Da-yeon, former Hanwha champion, former Korean Women's Open champion, she's only 3 shots off the pace here on day one. Right now, set at 5 under par by recently turned professional Bang Shin-sil. 5 under par effort, including 5 birdies in a closing 5 holes. Now out to the 12th, and Lee So-mi. Even for the moment, but that's pretty well played from So-mi. Now a 5-time winner on tour. The company of Lee Da-yeon. But it looks like it wants to go a little bit to Park Gi-yeol's right at the end, just to tie the lead. And we saw a fast start to 2022 from Park Gi-yeol with a couple of good finishes at Kim Hae-gaya. Playing that for so many years of her career, never lost her card, but was always sort of on that bubble getting into the final couple of events of the year. It's good to see that she's kept her card comfortably last season and is off to a flying start today. 4 under par, early doors and only 1 back. 234 million Korean won up for grabs for the champion this week. Choi Yeon-rim, downhiller, needs to stretch. Now just, these greens just look so pure, but they're not as quick as you think they are. To the 10th tee. Kim Lim. Turn at 1 under par, the defending champion. Just coming off a birdie at 9. And that is what she did so beautifully at Ildong Lakes last year en route to her first KLPGA major title, her third KLPGA Tour win, of course, a US Women's Open champion as well, Kim Lim, so she has major pedigree. Next to play, the current money and points list leader, Park Ji-young, courtesy of a win at the end of last year in Singapore at the Hana Financial Group Singapore Women's Open. 2 events in Southeast Asia at the end of the year, counting towards 2023's money and points list. Staggering 75% top 10 finish rate for Park Ji-young. She's only finished outside the top 10 once in 4 starts, and that came last week at Gimhae Gai, and that was just a share of 12th, as she'll share some grapes with a good friend, Kim Lim. Now rounding out the group, the KLPGA Tour's newest champion, Choi Eun-woo. A delightful final round to claim her breakthrough title at the Next Sensate 9 Masters last week. She hasn't made a birdie so far today. 2 over the card, still with golf to play. Lots of opportunities peppered around Lakewood. This great golf course has hosted several KLPGA championships before. 3-year stretch from 2018 to 2020. On a roll of champions including Jang Hana, Choi Hye-jin, and Park Hyun-kyung. I saw that lovely second shot for Kim Ji-hyun into 11. This one to balance the books. Get back to level par. Very nicely done, and after a horrific start, Kim Ji-hyun has battled her way back to even par for the championship. Very resilient display there from Ji-hyun. Somi for her birdie. Should want to just go a little bit to her right. Not too much break, you feel. At least it doesn't look like it's going to do too much from where our camera angle is. No, that one stayed outside the cup. It's baffled the 24-year-old. Turned pro back in 2019. A permanent picture of consistency in the KLPGA Tour. Still yet to win a Korean women's major, though. The one thing you'd say that's missing from that very stellar resume. Now back to 10 and Choi Eun-woo. The second shot here from the middle of the fairway. It's a 6 iron. Turning that back left. Can play for some release. She's judged that pretty well. Yeah, not too bad at all. Now, Park Ji-young, 2015 KLPGA Tour Rookie of the Year. Pretty good. That looks excellent. Stellar shot from Park Ji-young. And that was the real strength of her game last season. Permanent fixture inside the top 3 on the ball striking statistics, driving accuracy, and greens in regulation. Created a lot of good birdie opportunities for herself. Now, Lim up to 41st in the Rolex Women's Golf Rankings after her 4th place finish at the Chevron Championship last week. 2020 US Women's Open champion. With shots like that, you can see why. She's got 4 titles on one of the developmental tours here in South Korea as well. The Dream Tour. There's the Dream Tour and the Jump Tour. This looks like a bit of an awkward stance here. It's hard when you've got 1 foot out of the bunker and 1 foot in on soft sand. You see Chae Young just trying to find a way to create a stance where she can use some leverage to splash this one out. I'll tell you what, she's played that about as good as she could have. Taking that one to release on a little bit, but that's tidy. She's in the company of Jang Soo-yeon and Jang Hana, who is struggling mightily as she has been for the last sort of 18 months or so. It's been a real tough watch, the rapid deterioration in the game of Jang Hana, who's 9 over par for opening round. She's only played a dozen holes. Ji Hyun back on 12 tee. Seeing that pin just in the front of the green. 12 on from the front, 7 from the left. It's attackable. And attack it she will. Just the one drop shot today. Coming back at the 6th for Choi Yerim. And that's been another very productive day at the office. The 23-year-old. Only missed 1 cut so far this year. Does have a runner-up finish at the Pacific Links Championship in Vietnam. Again, that happened in 2022, but it counts towards the 2023 season. Tugs it a smidge, but we'll get a little help from that bunker shoulder. Runner-up in this championship last year. Kim Hae-lim. She didn't walk away with that major title on the first place check, but a runner-up finish at Ildong Lakes 12 months ago moved her inside the top 100 in the Rolex Women's rankings for the first time in her career. She continues to hit shots like that. The only way is up for Lee Ga-young. Nicely played. You'd feel that's practically a concession. There are no gimmies in major championships, not even on a Thursday. Now Choi Yeon-woo back at 10. She'll want to move from her left to right about 2/3 of the way to the cup, then flatten and straighten out when it gets there. This is on a nice line. Oh, just needed a little bit more. A good pace, good effort there. Always difficult to back up a victory with a solid showing the next week. But she will learn, no doubt. It's a game of constant improvement. The art of learning to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Chae Young, this would be a great par save, and it is a delightful par save there for Yoon Chae-young at 13. He'll keep her 1 over par. Remarkably, the best score going in this group. Jang Soo-yeon just dropping a shot at this very hole to go to 2 over par. This one should just peel a little bit right, but we'll need to give this a good thump. You see how quickly that ball slows up at the end. That's a good looking putt. Oh, unlucky. She's hit some good putts today, Kim Hae-lim. Really gone her way. Bookend birdies at 1 and 9, a drop shot on 4. The rest pars. And much like she was last year in this championship, she's just a lurker. You don't have to be leading at any point in the championship until the 72nd hole. You know, that's when it matters. That's when it counts. Lee Jung-min now a hole ahead with her 3rd into the 11th. It's tough to get close to front pins with firm greens. You don't want to undercook it, come up short-sided and sort of short some of the sticky Kikuyu rough. So the tendency is always want to play out a little bit long. So, Kim Min Byul, what a story she's been. Received a sponsor's invite to the Lotte Rent-A-Car Ladies Open. Top 6 there. Has not finished outside the top 10 in all 3 starts so far this year, and well, with shots like that, could there be a fairy tale story brewing here at the KLPGA Championship? Currently 1 under, no drop shots on her day. A 19-year-old rookie. She is certainly making her presence felt on the KLPGA Tour. Now, Park Min-ji, prolific winner, 16 times a titleist on tour. He's won the money list the last 2 years, the points list. She's become a real star since the COVID break. She's the wrong side of par right now, though. Had to flirt with the front bunker to try and get that one close, but it's a nicely played shot. She knows that was very close to disaster. But now, affords herself a birdie look. Ji Young to that sparkling second shot. That's to get back to even for the tournament. Yeah, well done. Well done indeed, Park Ji Young. The tournament she won in Singapore at the end of 2022 was actually weather shortened to just 36 holes because we couldn't get any golf done on Sunday. Such was the torrential rain that bucketed the Lion City in December. Ji Hyun downhill right to lefter for a birdie. Good for pace there, Kim Ji Hyun. Jung-min trying to do what Park Ji-young just did. Pick up a birdie, get back to level par. Try and make something happen on this inward stretch. Oh, agonizingly close. Just peeks in over the front edge and doesn't drop for Lee Jung-min. Choi Ye-rim now. He's trying to get to 3 under within 2. Yeah, good pace there for Choi Ye-rim. Fourth event of the 2023 calendar year, but it's the 6th event of the 2023 season with the new wraparound season starting in Singapore at the end of the year, finishing at the SK Networks Classic on Jeju at the end of the year now. So a good little tap in there for Lee Ga-young. Consolidates the birdie 2. Gets back to 1 over par. Now Min-ji. She's just one of those exciting players that has the ability to just turn it on like a light switch. She's cruising along, nothing much is going right, and then bosh, she finds 6 birdies out of nowhere. And before you know it, she's leaving with the championship trophy, although not on that occasion. Just a bit unlucky there. It was a good putt, just running out of steam. Han Jin-seon, who already made a hole in one today. Making the turn at 4 under. That was to tie Bang Shin-sil for the lead. How about that scorecard from Han Jin-seon? Birdies at 11, 12, a hole in one on 17. Well, currently one of 5 players at 4 under par, though having said that, 3 of them have already posted their totals for the day. Gi-yeol and Jin-seon, the 2 low rounds of the afternoon wave. Kim Min-byul has this to get to 2 under. Ooh. That's a rare hiccup. She's almost got the same length putt coming back. And you think about what she has accomplished here, just 19 years of age. You think about last year's Rookie of the Year, Lee Ye-won. 19 years of age, had gotten her card via the Dream Tour. Played some very nice golf en route to winning Rookie of the Year. This young lady had no status at the beginning of the year. She has not finished outside of the top 10 in 3 events. It's been some very inspiring stuff. Although that was a great opportunity missed. Oh, and that is absolutely inexcusable for Kim Min-byul. That's careless. Ji-yeon just working on trying to use the ground a little bit more. You see that a bit from Justin Rose as well, how they try and load, sort of feel some flex, feel some tension in the knees, so they can sort of push off the ground to generate a little bit more clubbed speed, try and hit the ball a touch further in the air. I have to say, I do like that golf swing. I've been covering the Korean Ladies Tour for this will be 3 years now. Still one of the most likable golf swings on tour. Just not many moving parts. No wasted energy. Now, Gi-yeol at 4 under par, but bunkered here is Park. Should be able to clear that lip with no problem. Pin on 18 today in the right half of the green. In a deeper looking section. And that should just about creep back on. No, it's not on the surface, but it's decent from Park Gi-yeol. Now, Kim Min led the driving stats back in 2015 on the KLPGA Tour. The biggest hitters in the Korean women's game. I suspect that was a little bit toey. Still, I mean, you miss-hit a drive and you fly your playing partner by 5 yards, such as the power of Kim Min. Coming into 18, alongside Park Gi-yeol, Kim So-yi had some trouble off the tee, so this is now her 3rd shot. Good afternoon at 1 under par. Having a fantastic afternoon. She's 3 under par. 1 hopping in for Kim So-yi. It's one way to make the turn. Brilliant shot indeed. And all of a sudden, what looked like a bogey has turned into a 3, and she's just outside the top 10. Got carried away there. That was only a birdie 3, of course, not an eagle 2, but what a shot from Kim So-yi. Let's have another look at that. I mean, yep, you've laid it up, give yourself a nice full yardage. You're thinking, just get it close, get it close. Give yourself a chance at a 4. Oh, she'll do one better, because that is a birdie 3. No pictures on the scorecard. It's just going to say 3. And it was quite an adventure in between. So back to Han Jin-seon, former High-One Resorts Ladies Open champion, for her par. Okay, no mistakes there from Jin-seon. Will stay in that group at 4 under, one behind Bang Shin Sil. Now Minji. I think she's one of the better iron players in the KLPGA Tour. Much like Park Ji-young, very simple action. Much like Park Ji-young, very good with an iron in hand. Now can Guillaume at the front of the leaderboard. It's right to left her for a birdie at the 18th to take her out in 31 strokes. Good effort, but that has been a very solid front nine from Park Gi-yeol. A couple of birdies at 11 and 12, sprinkled in a couple more at 14 and 15. It'll be an outward half of 32 for Gi-yeol. She's in a 5-way tie for second at 4 under par. They're all chasing Bang Shin Sil, the 19-year-old rookie who leads at this stage of the 45th KLPGA Championship from Lakewood Country Club. So glad you could join us this Thursday afternoon. another excellently placed tee shot. Park Ji-young, her second shot into 11. You don't want to get too close to this green. You just want to lay a little bit further back so you can have a touch more spin with a full lob wedge. Try and get close to this front pin. That one looks like it's just about on that number for Ji-young. Very smart tactician around the golf course. Plots her way around beautifully. Aylin. Just out of the right half of the fairway, but you can see they're going with a long iron. Just trying to leave herself a comfortable yardage, a favourite yardage. Every player's got one. Oh dear. Well, certainly not going to make a difference if you're in the middle of the trees. That is a wild pull left for the defending champion. Looks like she got the all clear sign. No provisional ball being played, but I don't think she's going to like the looks of things when she gets up there. That gentleman in the black with hands on hips is, yep, that's where the ball is. I'm not sure she's got much of a shot towards the green. Of course, we'll have to see when Aylin gets down there. Lee Jung-min is coming up short here on the 12. A fairly makeable chip. Doesn't do too much break-wise. It's one you can attack. Yeah, pretty well played. Birdie look for Ga-young up ahead at 13. Looks like putting through a channel here. Should go a little right at the end. Just lack the pace, and we've seen that a couple of times already since we came on air about half an hour ago. Players seem to be struggling with the pace of these greens. A couple of putts have fallen off on the low side. Certainly seen plenty of them come up short. Of course, they will speed these greens up throughout the course of the week. This is the nature of a golf tournament. I think when they're slow, they are more easy to attack. You can certainly allow yourself to be a bit more aggressive as Choi Rim steps in over this one. Looking on the right edge here after that wonderful second shot to get her to 3 under par. Oh, that one started low all the way. A bit of a misread. Minji had a great chance slip at the previous hole. Keen to not let one slip here. Is it going to come back? Is it going to come back? Oh, frustratingly finishes off just behind the cup. There are good crowds out here this week. I mean, there are always good crowds out at KLPGA Tour events, but we're only 28 kilometers north of downtown Seoul, so it's very close to obviously a very populous area. And they're golf mad in this country, South Korea. 3 times as many driving ranges as there are golf courses, and there are many golf courses. Yeah, Kim Min-byul, can she steady the ship after that 3-putt at the 11th? No, she can't. And after you've just taken 3 whacks from about 4 feet, you don't really want any 3-footers for a while. Choi Yin-woo. Be a 3rd shot now to the 11th. Setting up nicely, but it's in that first cut of rough, so it's going to have a bit of chase on it. Oh, she got plenty of spin on it. My word, how'd she do that? Excellent shot from Choi Yin-woo. She's threatened several times before finally getting the job done last week at Gimhae-gaya, and that's what faces Kim Ae-lim. No direct path at the pin, but I guess the saving grace is, yes, she has She has a route through the trees. I mean, she can only take it at the TV tower, but on this angle, she's not going to bring those front bunkers into play. It is quite sticky rough here, so you could afford to fire one in low with quite a bit of speed and try and have it skip through the rough. If it doesn't jump through, it's not overly complicated up and down, provided you get it up within sort of 5 yards, 5-10 yards of the green. Trying to skip it through, skip it on. It's going to go trundling on by, but nice recovery from Kim A. Lim. Still staggering how poor a second shot that was. The layup with a long iron. Stuck it that far left into trouble. Now Ji-young, the perfect spot. Get some zip on this if she pitches it nicely. And whoa, too much zip. That could have done with another yard more of carry. It's just been a little untidy from Park Ji-young today. She knows it. Jung-min for her part, up ahead at 12. That was a straight shove. You could see that in that putting stroke. Just a little short and quick. The now 10-time KLPGA Tour winner suffers a couple of early bogeys on her inward half to fall 2 over. Back out to the first. Just making the turn. Si-woo to get to 4 under par. It's only about 2.5 feet in this one. Oh, they are lining up behind Bang Shin-sil. That's a 4th unanswered birdie of the afternoon for Chung Si-woo. She moves into a share of 2nd. Lee So-young back in the winner's circle after her win at the Daiawenia MBN Ladies Open last year. Continuing some good form to start the new season. This to get to 3 under. Downhill, right to lefter. And in it goes. It just speaks of the depth of talent on the KLPGA Tour. So many very, very good ladies out here. Any one of these girls could lift a trophy any given week. You're normally looking at maybe 10, 20 people who can win. Not out here. You've got a good 30, 40 ladies as Ji-young finds herself in a fiddly spot. Almost made a spectacular 4. Unfortunately, a little bit close to the lip of the bunker. They're at 13. Pin today, sort of middle right section of the green. Pretty well played. Good smart shot there. Just take it out to the heart of the green. Play the percentage shot. Don't need to be overly aggressive, even though the pin's in a fairly scoreable spot. Now this would be an outrageous 3 for Kim A. Lim if she manages it. Downhill, left to righter. Is it going to get there? And like so many this afternoon at Lakewood, just unable to figure out the speed of these surfaces. Eugene. Certainly hit with better pace, and it's a much better result. Well done, Sung Yoo-jin, last year's Lotte champion. Bears best in Cheongna. After a rocky couple of bogeys at 12 and 13, gets back to even par with that nice birdie at 14. We go back to 11. Park Ji-young don't want to be dropping shots on par 5s. And she's not going to. So a good up and down salvages the situation for Ji Young. It's important just to consolidate that birdie she made at the last hole. Don't give it up straight away. Choi Yin-woo, for a much-needed birdie here, would be her first of the afternoon. Yeah, nicely done. No mistakes there. She'll open her account for the day with a birdie at the par 5 11th to take her back to 1 over the card. Into the 14th. There's only 6 from the left edge, front section of the green. It's a good safe shot. Like that, maybe a couple of feet closer, but you're not going to be complaining if you have putts from that length of birdie on every green all week long. There's 18 meters left here. The pins are a little collection area, a little sort of bowl guarded by that bunker. Front right-hand side for Park Gi-yeol. But you can sort of throw it a little bit long, try and spin it off that backstop. Use the contours to feed it on down to the cup. Just tug that a smidge, but an outside look nonetheless for Gi-yeol. Very good pace indeed. That's more like it. Nice birdie for her. And it was 2 over par through 10 and has battled her way back inside the top 40. It's a good resilient display from Yoon Chae-young. Choi Ye-rim. No birdies yet on her back nine. But with an opportunity to attack here at 14. Slope. Come on down that slope. Keep feeding. Keep feeding. Yeah, very nicely played. Good smart shot there from Choi Ye-rim. Now Eun-woo back at 12. Tee shot plays slightly downhill. That's a big miss. Only 153 meters into that cavernous bunker. That's the right half of this 12th green. Just from the body language and the gestures of Park Ji-young's caddy, seem to think that the breeze is coming straight off the left here. Maybe that's what caught out Choi Yin-woo. A bit of a sheltered tee box. Back up the hill on 12, so players can't quite feel exactly what the wind's doing. Well, it was online, but again for the second straight hole, it's just a little short for Ji-young. in the far right edge of the tee box. So if that breeze is coming straight off the left, she can almost fire it into the breeze. So left edge of the green or just left of the pin. Try and hold a shot up, as a professional golfer would say, against that. Just gives you a little buffer, gives you a little cushion. You don't always have to ride the wind. You can try and sort of fight it, as it were, to try and keep that ball a touch straighter. Pretty good. Only played on this group on the putting surface, so decent shot there from the defending champion. Now Minjee, after splashing out of the sand, has this for birdie ahead at the 13th. Just like back on 11. Really good putt. Did everything but go in. Again, you know, that's the enigma of Park Min-ji. Putts like the one she's hit over the last 3 holes. It's a 50-50 chance they drop or not. If they do drop, suddenly she's 2 under par and racing up the leaderboard, but they haven't. And she's 1 over par, having a very ho-hum day as we drop back to 1 and Park Gi-yeol to tie the lead. Not to be a birdie at 1 for Gi-yeol, and ooh, that's gone rolling on by. First real tester for Park coming up as we go back to Choi Ye-rim. Surely a birdie is coming. She's had so many chances on this inward stretch, and finally one drops for Choi Ye-rim. Goes to 3 under par. Very nicely done indeed. Still Bang Shin-sil. He clings on to a tenuous one-shot advantage after a stellar opening round of 67. A couple of great rounds from Kerry Park. Jun Yu-ri and Song Ga-eun leave them a shot back, but Jin Seon, Hee-ji, Gi-yeol and Siwoo, they're making the big moves in the afternoon wave Thursday at Lakewood. Wu looks like she's maybe just on the outside of the bunker, just nestled up against the edge. In the sand, long splash and run. Very nicely judged indeed. So young. Let's see if that birdie will kickstart a bit of a run. Only so young.
그래서 팔이 일자로 떨어진 것 같아요. 무릎이 앞으로 나면 아, 난 어드레스를 제대로 배웠어야 얘는 나갈 것 같아요.
Sometimes too much spin. Not on that occasion. Just catching at the bottom of the club. And not quite getting the check she needed. Skips through the green. Ji Young disappointed to come up short here on the 12th. But it's a makeable chip. Good looking line. Ample green to work with. It certainly gave the hole a scare. Nicely played shot. So she will stay at even par. Just the one birdie and one bogey on her card. Now Minji, who's been luckless with the flat stick today. The old school golfers will tell you, just hit it closer. It's a 7-9 from 121. And it's a pretty good one. And that's certainly closer than the look she had on the last. Now, A-Lim. You'd think this would be a ticklish one down the hill, but for what we've seen pace-wise on the greens today, they're just not as quick as the players are imagining. And again, short in the jaws. So a par will keep her barely in red figures at 1 under par. Just half a dozen holes left to play on day one for the defending champion. Now Minbyul is now back at 1 over par. Remember not long ago she had a putt to get to 2 under par. This is how quickly things can change in golf. And that's a little bit better from Kim Minbyul. Now Unwoo for her sandy save back at 12. Oh, no. Squanders. That would have been a nice momentum saving, momentum building par. So just as quickly as she had gained a shot, she'll give it straight back. Now, this is an interesting play for So Young. He's got 2 different types of grass to cover before she gets on the putting surface, and the little edging groove about 6 inches in front of her ball. So she's going to have to give this a good thump. It will get airborne. Very tricky to predict how it's going to react through the fringe here. That is superb touch from So Young. It's away with a par at the 14th. At the 15th, excuse me. Everyone's trying to make a dent in the lead of Bang Shin Sil. No one's been successful so far. Now, Guillaume did hole her putt for par. The comebacker on 1. This is now her tee shot at the par 3 second. Plays 133 meters, but the pin today in the left section of the green. And you don't really want to miss it left. There's a penalty area there. I think it should have cleared it. Did see a bounce. She doesn't look too convinced herself. Now Minji, much like Choi Rim, you feel she's due to hole 1. She needs to, just for her psyche, just for her confidence, let alone her position on the leaderboard. Now that one is well wide of target. Certainly looked like a good stroke, maybe just a flat-out misread for Minji. Can even happen to the best of them. Why don't we have a look at this picturesque par 4 13th? One of the longer par 4s of the golf course at 380 meters. That penalty area in front right there is not going to come into play for these ladies, although the bunker on the left and the long body of water on the right certainly will start to pinch in the landing zone. 240 to get to that left trap off the tee. But you do find the middle of the fairway, and you'll leave yourself a short iron, maybe even a wedge for some of the bigger hitters into this hole. The hole plays sort of gently downhill to this kidney-shaped green. Pin today, pretty much in the middle of it. 21 from the front and 8 from the right. So I'll just look to start this just right of that fairway bunker. Fairway does kick a little from left to right. Oh no, finds that well-placed fairway bunker, but she's far enough back from the lip where it's not going to be a bother for her. As long as you maintain your spine angle, maintain your height, and pick that one cleanly, should get almost as much spin as you can out of the fairway. Certainly rather be in there than left rough. It's far more predictable. Now Alim going with a 3-wood. This is a sensible play for a player of her length. You know, take that left bunker out of play. Pretty much use it as your start line. Hit it as hard as you want. No, it's not going to get there. Fairway found for Alim Kim. So the birdie look now for Kim Min Byul to get back to even. Has it got the legs? No, it doesn't. Yeah, momentum's a fickle thing in golf. It's just stalled for the teenager. Blemish free on the front side. A 3-putt from 4 feet on 11, and another drop shot at 13. Now the wrong side of par. Although this young lady has been in excellent control of her golf ball this afternoon. Yerim now. Third shot into the par 5, 15th. Distance control has been pretty good too, although that one releases on just a fraction for Choi Yerim, but a great look at another birdie to come. Now we saw the tee shot of Park Gi-yeol look like it may have gone in the penalty area, where we understand it should be safe there. Well, she's only going to have about 7-8 paces of green to work with, and much will depend on the lie. Some of that tangly rough down there. Playing off a slight upslope as well, which should help this shot. Get a little elevation on the ball. Pretty well done. It was a dicey spot. Shoe was off and everything. But she's got a chance to keep that card clean. It's going to be a lot cleaner than that one remaining sock. I tell you that. That's commitment to try to save a shot. Well, we've already had a hole-in-one today on the 17th from Han Jin Seon, Yoon Chae Young. She make it too. She won't win the car though. First player to make a hole-in-one gets the car. That's going to go the way of Jin Seon, the 24-year-old, as Chae-young Jas rolls onto the upper level of that split-tiered green. Now Choi Yen-woo Middle of the fairway, prime attacking position, back at 13. And attack she does. Excellent shot from Choi Yun-woo. Now it's a shot that spooks a lot of weekend golfers and amateurs, the fairway bunker shot, but really it's usually a question of just good technique and setup. So grip down a little bit because you will be hovering the club over the ball, so that sort of raises the bottom of your golf swing. Good swing thoughts, keep that chin up. You stay nice and tall. Pick it up cleanly off the sand. Maybe just a smidge heavy there for Ji Young. But again, not an overly complicated up and down left. About 30 yards remaining, plenty of real estate to deal with. Now A1 position for A Lim. Can't be more than a 9-iron or a wedge for her. Bit unlucky. First bounce a lot bigger than she was expecting, but a fine shot nonetheless. So young. This is a shot to the 16th. 339 meters today. It's just a little deep again. Even her poor shots aren't really costing her right now. Guyang. Somi, excuse me. Just cruising along at even par. Hasn't really gotten anything going today. And that's going to work its way off the slope nicely. Kim Ji-hyun, last to go. Started a day 3 over through 2 holes. That's even par for the tournament. That's very good from Sung Yoo-jin. Best of the 3. Into the 16th out of this group. 3 ladies in match 25, all with birdie looks to come. So we go back to Park Gi-yeol and for her adventurous par save at the second. Almost worth the trouble. She's going to drop a shot. Falls out of the group at 4 under. Birdie look here for Yun Chae-young at the 17th, down the hill. Pretty speedy. Yeah, just had to get that one started down the crest, and gravity and slope was going to do the rest. So it'll be a steady cast iron par that will keep Yun Chae-young at even for the championship. You see Hana just to the right of your screen having a real tough afternoon. No birdies for Hana Jang. 10 over par, but going along much better. Her playing partners Jang Soo-yeon and Yun Chae-young, the pair of them at even. Now Ji-young, so many different ways to play this shot. Play it off the front of the stance, try and fly it a little bit closer to the hole with a higher flight, or drop it back in the stance, try and play a little low chip and run. That was Just a little bit heavy-handed from Park Ji-young. So Young first to go for birdie at 16, coming down the slope. Nope, not to be. Putt than she would have liked, but it's a birdie look nonetheless. And it's a 3 on the scorecard. Finally one drops for Kim Ae-lim, who will collect a third birdie of her round and move inside the top 15. The defending champion making a little move towards Bang Shin-seul's 5 under par target. Somi. A little bit closer for Yerim. He's got too much pace. Yeah, just wasn't going to take the break with that speed. And, well, there's a little bit of meat left on that bone coming back for par. Speaking of lengthy par putts, this is Ji-young's after a rather enthusiastic pitch shot from the front of the green. It's just been a little untidy for Ji-young today. Another bogey, slips back over par. Choi-Yin-woo. A bit of a topsy-turvy back nine, so on script this one should drop to get her back to 1 over. Yeah, there it is, right on cue. So is that the bounce back's bounce back? I guess we can call that. Nonetheless, a couple of birdies for Ae-lim and Eun-woo. Eugene to get back into red figures. No, falls off low. Yeah, the greens are really sort of tricking out quite a number of players this afternoon. There's not much breeze to speak of wafting around Lakewood. It's been a real challenge on the dance floor for these girls. Kim Min-byul with the heavy artillery on the par 5 15th. Oof, carries the water just into the green side trap, but that's 2 big hits from Kim Min-byul, but it's a rather unpleasant looking long bunker shot she's left herself. Still, she's there for 2. Now Ae-lim fresh off her birdie at 13 with the honour on the 14th tee. Once again, she's finding the cart parts, but for the second time today, gets a nice kick, and well, that looks like it's sitting up okay in the rough. Yeah, nice birdie indeed. Both Ae-lim and Choi-Yin-woo. Now up to 17, and Lee So-young. There's one tendency, she tends to miss long more than short. She goes long here. She could end up on that back step of the green. That's not long. That's bang on perfect for So Young. Excellent shot. Good birdie look to come. So we drop back to 14 and Choi Yun Woo ready to send one away. Yep, very nicely played. Third shot into 15. Hasn't really gotten anything going today. And she's left herself another good look at birdie, but she's got to take at least one or two coming home to feel like she's gotten anything out of this round of golf. Because she has been very solid from tee to green, just hasn't had anything to show for it. Now Lee Jung-min, a little bit closer than Minji. Another one of the players in the field this week with double-digit wins in the KLPGA Tour. Vietnam, the land of the Blue Dragon. The end of last season, counting towards this year's money list. Oh, clashes off the flagstick. One of those lucky, unlucky shots, I suppose you could call them. Doesn't really pay to be too accurate sometimes now, does it? Now, and Wu back at 14, first to play. Nicely done. Just going to release on a little bit. That's that sort of uncomfortable left to righter that players tend to overread. And it works nicely off the slope, and that's much, much better. Looks like a bit of a wispy lie for Park Ji-young. It was nestled down a bit, so tricky to read how this one's going to come out. You can imagine it's just trying to play for a front edge yardage, anticipate a bigger bounce. And again, she's going to come up short there. It's just not quite clicking for her. Normally, those clubs in her hand, the strength of her golf game, but the irons have been letting her down this opening round at the KLPGA Championship. Slightly cleaner looking lie for A-Lim. Is that going to try to take the slope? It's going to try. It's still worming its way down there. Yeah. Again, very good smart shot there from Kim A-Lim. Knew she didn't have to take it directly at the flag. Herself another good look. Let's go head to the 15th hole and bunkered in 2. That's the 19-year-old Kim Min-byul. You see that's a 30-meter bunker shot, and the chunk and run is out of play because she's got to come over the edge of the bunker in front of her and quite a bit of fringe, so she's going to have to pretty much fly this halfway between the fringe and the hole with spin. Takes a lot of courage to clip this. Yeah, all things considered, that's actually a very good shot from Kim Min-byul. Choyerim. Second shot into the 16th. And she's thrown another absolute dart at it. Beautifully done from Choyerim. So look to get to that group at 4 under upcoming for Yerim. Now Min Byul for her birdie back at 15. Needs to try to find that confidence again. That's a good aggressive stroke. And that's a good putt. Even though it hasn't found its target, that's all you can do in golf. Just hit good putts. If they drop, they drop. If they don't, that's okay. Just move on, because law of averages says at some point they are going to fall in. So only a par after being greenside in 2 for Kim Min Byul. Now Alim Kim for another birdie. That would take her within 2. That one went left on her. Just get the sense that the grain is really starting to play a factor out here at Lakewood this afternoon. See a lot of players misreading putts by some margin. I mean, she's read the putts correctly. They just haven't dropped for her. Just didn't hit that one. Park Min-ji. Frustration with the flat stick for the 16-time tour winner. 6 wins apiece in each of her last 2 seasons, including 3 major championships. Some spell she's been on over the last 24 months or so. Now Ji-young just chipped it up to here, a little bit tentative. So a lengthy putt to save par. Not going to drop. The shoulders are slumped. You just see the wind's got out of her sails. It's quite deflating, because you grind your way around that front nine. You finally pick up a birdie at 10. And then now you're starting to unravel all that good work with bogeys at 13 and now again at 14. She's a resilient competitor. Certainly not going to be thinking about folding it in just yet, as Choi Yeon-woo looks to get back to even for the day after that wonderful second shot. Every single player we've seen has missed that one left. You just don't think it's going to move back to the right. Unfortunately, it's only a par. Some semblance of normalcy after going birdie, bogey, birdie in her last 3 holes. Now up ahead to 17. And this birdie look for Sung-Yu Jin. Get into red figures. Oh yes, very good indeed, Sung-Yu Jin. So it's to 1 under. Nice bounce back after those bogeys at 12 and 13. And So Young has got the perfect line read off Eugene. She's up and out of it quickly. I think she just knew she left that putter face open a smidge. Well, Yerim up ahead to get to within 1. thought about stopping, but it just had enough pace. And Choi Rim has picked up some birdies since we came on in. Now draws into a share of second and within one of Bang Shin Sil's lead. Lim back on the tee box here. With her power, she can reach into. All starts with a good tee shot, though. Didn't look like she left anything behind with that one. Oh, that's far down there, but just gonna catch that fairway bunker. And well, no option but to lay up now from there. Second shot played over water. Yin Chae-young at the closing hole. Left to righter for a round of 71. Yeah, good pace, good effort. And all in all, a decent day around Lakewood for Yin Chae-young. A level par 72. Leaves her even par after the opening round here at the KLPGA Championship. Good enough for a share of 36th at the moment. Fair play to Chae-young's playing partner Jang Soo-yeon, who's had 3 birdies in a row to get to 1 under par. But it's still Bang Shin Sil, as she was at the beginning of our coverage, who sits alone at the top of the leaderboard with a 5 under par round of 67 this morning. But Choi Rim, Julie Kim, and Han Jin-seon doing their best to pressure the 19-year-old championship leader here on day 1 at the KLPGA Championship. of the three ladies on a charge right now. Choi Ye-rim on the 17th tee. Pins cut front and left, dangerously close to the penalty area, short left of the green. Ooh, but that was a brave line to take and might get a little bit of help from that slope. It's trying. It's going to be a little downhiller for Choi Ye-rim. But another excellent iron shot. The game's certainly looking in very good control for the 23-year-old. Kim Ji-hyun. 3 over through 2. Level par right now. It's been a resilient, grinding back 9 for her. Five times a winner on the KLPGA Tour. Gave the hole a scare. She knows what it's like to win a major title. 2017 Korean Women's Open champion. Now Minji out of the left rough. Looks to be a pretty thick lie as well on the 16th. And as a result, unable to get any kind of spin on that. Pretty good. Is it going to catch that slope? Come on down. Come on. Just a layup now for A-Lim. Still got to be careful with this one. Make sure that you just get it back into the fairway. That she's done. So young. Final hole of the day. Final chance to pick up a birdie. Only a pitching wedge left from 93 meters. Expect this one to be inside of 15 feet. Hasn't let me down. That's very nicely done from Lee So-young. Ooh, little off the straight and narrow here, but should just about have a path to the green on the 18th for Sung Yoo-jin. It doesn't look like she's going to be impeded backswing wise. I don't think she's going to have any sort of follow-through issues as well. Yeah, that's perfectly clear. The only issue for her is with this slight hanging lie coming out of this sort of dried out rough. And you tend to get a couple of flyers out of this, and maybe just knock a couple of, maybe take a little something off your full yardage. Sounded a little bit clunky, but it's gonna be okay. She'll get relief from that drainage cover, and that's not too bad of a leave for Sung Yoo-jin. Third shots into the par 5 15th for this afternoon's featured group. The defending champion will lead us in. She won the US Women's Open in 2020. She overturned a 5-shot deficit going into the final round. When she claimed victory at this championship last year, she was trailing Hyo-joo Kim by 4 going into the back 9. When Hyo-joo imploded, A-Lim surged with shots like that. You'd be a very brave soul to bet against the fact that she will be in the mix come Sunday afternoon. This downhiller for Kim Ji-hyun to get into red figures for the first time. Oh, it's wide left, and that is, yeah, just a poor putt, really. Nothing wrong with a 3 at 17. Lee Jung-min. Bit of a difficult back 9. She's back at 3 over par now. Bogeys at 10 12 and 14, and she's not exactly in birdie range there at 16. Now, Choi Yun-woo. She's got a good mental picture of what she has to do. She's just seen Kim Ae-lim play the right shot in. It's just a case of executing, trusting your number. Well, that's just that big firm bounce. We've seen it a couple of times today, and that's rolled well through the green for Choi Yun-woo. There's a ponderous look on her face. Now Ga Young. Looks like it wants to drift a little right. Does it move that much? Oh, beautifully read. Excellent birdie there for Lee Ga Young. Needed that one. Gets back to 1 over. Now Park Ji-young. Takes a big skip, but doesn't quite roll as far through as Choi Yun-woo. There'll be a quick trip to the range, I imagine, at the conclusion of play today for the moneyless leader. Well, to tie the lead now, Choi Yun-rim. No. Every player's missed that putt on the left. It's a weird one because that slope influences it to go left, but you always feel like it wants to move back to the right at the end. So another player caught out by the tricky reeds here at Lakewood. Come on, Jung-min. Let's try to get something going back in the right direction. A birdie here would help. Left to righter, down the hill. Got good pace, and it's a great result. Hasn't made a birdie since the 8th. And one's going to come here at 16 for Lee Jung-min. And below 60 and ties make the halfway cut at the end of play tomorrow. Jung-min right now in a share of 74th. We feel the projected cut should be around that 2-3 over par mark after 36 holes. Jun Hee-sung. Got relief off the drainage cover. Now just trying to prod one down the hill. Okay. It's going to be a little nerve jangler left there for Sun Yoo-jin. Now Min-ji. Is this the time we see a putt drop? That kind of afternoon for Park Min-ji. She's got plenty of support out here. And she is not a happy camper here on Thursday afternoon. No option but to chip this one. A lot of dead ground to cover for Choi Yun-woo. Trying to bump this into the fringe, have that second bounce land on the green and release out like a putt. Uh-oh. That's just the old chili dip. It's always the back of your mind off these slightly sort of bare, sandy lies around the greens here. Well, So Young, hopefully the final stroke of her day from a round of 68. Stay up. Just needed an ounce more pace. But she'll be pleased with a very good performance today. 3 under par 69 to open her campaign, seeking a first major title. Sun Yoo-jin for her par. And a 71. Well done. Nice up and down at the last. That always gives you a good feeling walking off the green. Nice bounce back after a difficult start to the back nine. 1 under par 71 for Sun Yoo-jin. Ji Young. Slightly simpler shot than what Eun-woo had. Nicely played. Good tidy little chip and run for Park Ji Young. Gonna save her par. Minji's reached the 17th tee, and well, this flag should suit her. When she's on her game, this is the best part of it. These kind of clubs, these kind of shots to left pins. Just up and out of that, leaks it right. Probably the worst iron shot that we've seen her hit on this back nine. Still hasn't made a birdie since the 5th. That's in with a good shout there. So Choi Eun-woo take 2, this time going with the putter, but now this is for par. Making a right old mess of this par 5 15th is Choi Eun-woo. Great attempts. That misjudged 3rd shot ultimately costing Choi a bogey. So back down to 2 over par, she will slide. Two over par also where we find Park Ji Young. She'll stay there after this par. Lim to pick up another shot and get to 3 under. Should go a little bit to her left. It's a comfortable putt for a right-hander. That's drilled in the middle. Excellent birdie for Kim Lim. And within 2 of Bang Shin-sil. I'd like to have a former US major champion, US Women's Open champion, and the defending champion in your rearview mirror. Must be an intimidating sight indeed. Still early days in this championship though. It's Choi Rim. He's also at 4 under, currently playing the last. One hand off the club, doesn't quite like it. Poorest iron shot she's hit on this back nine. Still on the putting surface. Now Minji just off the right edge, coming down a little slope. I think should bank around to the left as it approaches the cup. Yeah, good for pace there. Nicely judged. Out of the fairway bunker at the last for Kim Ji-hyun. Good, solid, clean contact. And a pretty darn good result. Wondrous stuff from the 2017 Korean Women's Open champion. Ga Young out of the left rough, coming off a birdie back at 17. She's only 1 over par. Keep releasing, keep releasing. Yeah, it's a couple of very good shots there from Ji Hyun and Ga Young. Birdie looks to come for the pair of them. Min Byul. You've seen every player miss this putt low. It looks like she's not giving this enough break. No, there it goes. Veers off to the left. Never really makes the trek back. Alim. She's had a couple of big misses with the driver and one or two squirrely iron shots, but for the most part, she's been rock solid tee to green. Well, now for back-to-back birdies, Lee Jung-min. Hopefully she would have learned something off Min Byul's putt. Got to look at least a ball outside the right here. Yeah, well holed. That's the fighting spirit of a champion right there. It's a rough patch to start the back nine. Couple of late birdies. And she gets to 1 over par with a chance to birdie the last and perhaps post an adventurous 72. At the top of the board, 5 under par leads. Bang Shin-sil already in with a 67, but Han Jin-seon, courtesy of a hole-in-one at 17 and a third birdie of the day coming at the 6th, her 15th hole. She joins the 19-year-old atop the leaderboard here on day one at Lakewood Country Club. She's putting together a bit of a late comeback. Lee Jung-min. The final hole, working off back-to-back birdies. Getting back to even par would be a psychological win for her. That's a well-played tee shot up the par 5 18th. Narrow landing zone, well negotiated. Just a 3-wood for position. Driver not necessary here. Although it's Park Min-ji, she hits driver everywhere. Put a lot of time into this part of her game. Now leads the KLPGA's driving statistics, accuracy-wise. It's just over 80% of her fairways. Not an easy thing to do with some of the tight landing spots we have here. And well, that bunker's seen some action here on day one. Going to be very fascinated to see the progress of young Kim Min-byul throughout the course of this season. Current leader of the Rookie of the Year points race, 3 straight top 10s to start the year. It's been a bit of a difficult back 9 for her, but she is only 1 over par like her 2 playing partners. And unlike Min-ji, she's found the short stuff. Choi Yeon-woo, a couple of holes back on 16, ready to play her second shot. Up you come, around you come, feed down to the hole. Just stays up a little bit, but still pretty good. Lim. Throw it a little bit long right this hole. It will come back, try and feed it off that slope. Oh, not that far. Oh no, it's still going to grab it, and the higher up you toss it, the more it's going to work its way down. Yeah, it's pretty well done. Seven-year-old turned pro back in 2013, the 2020 US Women's Open champion. Now, Ji-young. Last to go. See if she can pick one nice and give herself a decent look. Again, it just looked a little diggy and heavy. This time, gets the distance control bang on. Excellent from Park Ji-young. Love a little bit of what Lee Jung-min's done over the last hour or so with a couple of birdies. So go up to the 18th and Choi Ye-rim. A very, very good day at the office for her, the 23-year-old. 7th full season on the KLPGA Tour. Is going to be a bit of a knee knocker for a 68. I've gotten used to seeing that look a bit this week, today I should say. A lot of furrowed brows and head scratches from these ladies. For a birdie and a level par 72. We'll want to dive left at the cup here. Yeah, just there, snaps so hard to convince yourself to give it that much break. I suppose you could say a bit like Kim Ji-hyun, Ga-young, 3 over quite early in her round, 1 over par, not a terrible disaster as we drop back to 16, and Choi Yeon-woo Looking for a birdie. Left to righter. Nope, that one falls low. So only a par for Choi Yun-woo. A tough old battle in this afternoon session for these players. And now 132 of the best in the KLPGA Tour contesting this season opening major championship. This lady looking to go back to back for the first time since Park Hyun Kyung did it in 2020 and 2021. So she should know that this one wants to slide a little right. She's going to give it more break or more pace. It looks like more break. Oh, too much break. It's not going to come back from there, surely. Yeah, perhaps just fooled a little bit by Choi Yun-woo's putt. So only a par for A-Lim. Ji-young to leave the flagstick in here. One of those players that prefers to do it. I'm still undecided whether I'd rather have the flagstick in, because you'd like to think that you see more balls bounce out when hitting the flagstick than sort of the flagstick helping and going in. But Ji-young's chosen to leave it in on this occasion. It's a good look here. Slightly straighter putt than her two playing partners, so should be nothing more than left edge for her with good pace. Yeah, that's well holed. Very nice birdie for Park Ji-young. Recovers a shot, back to 1 over on the card. Just inside the top 60 again. Don't want to end your day with a 3-putt, Yerim. Concentrate here for a 68. That's just an awful way to end what was otherwise a lovely, lovely opening round of golf here. Still, anything in the 60s you'd take in a heartbeat on day one of a major championship. It's only going to be a 69 though for Choi Yerim with 3 putts the last. There's disappointment plastered on that face, but she's off and running here at Lakewood. This would be some comeback. Double to start, bogey at the second. Hasn't dropped a shot since. She's picked up 3 birdies. This for a round of 71. Super stuff from Kim Ji-hyun. She's played her last 13 holes in 4 under par. And after being 3 over through 2, sits just outside the top 20 at the end of her round. Yeah, Ji-young. Can she start to build a little momentum? Coming off that nice birdie at 16. There's an 8-9 into 17. Tugged it a little bit, and it's just going to finish up on that upper level of the green.
Okay.
Oh, A-Lim, imagine this is either going to be a soft 8 or a really hard 9. Feels like a bit of an in-between club situation. You almost think you'd favor the 9 here. Just aim it out towards the front right quadrant of the green. You know, step on it a little bit. So de-loft it. It will try to draw towards that pin, and you think that's the shape that's required to get close to this one. So Certainly looked like a pretty aggressive pass at the ball. Yeah, but leaves that one hanging out right. Easy to do, but not the most problematic spot to be chipping from. A couple of clubs out as well for Choi Yun Woo. She's right about Park Ji Young's distance off the tee. A pair of them sit about 6 places apart in driving distance on the KLPGA Tour, so be able to work off each other's clubs. You think this would be an 8-iron as well for Yun Woo. Maybe just gripping down an inch. Try and float one in there. Not gonna run through that fringe onto the green, but again, not a bad miss. It's still okay. Now Min Byul from the top of the hill at this beautiful finishing hole. Yeah, pretty good. Leaves herself a look from right around 20 feet. Minji. Nice clean lie. Wouldn't surprise me if this one goes straight at it. Maybe it looked a little bit heavy. Yeah, I think it was heavy. A bit like Park Ji Young, Park Min-ji not firing on all cylinders today. It's that frustrating thing about golf. You feel like you're not playing bad, but you're half a millimeter off here, there, or somewhere else as far as your contact goes, your angle of attack. Certainly putts on the green. It can turn a good day of golf into a very average one. Now Jung Min, big tee shot to the bottom of the hill. And you wedge in from 95. You can see it tried to grab. Not bad. Not bad at all. That left for an even past 72. We quickly go up to the other side of the golf course, and one of your co-leaders, Han Jin Seon, who's bogey-free today, has laid up here with her second shot on the par 5-7, just 45 meters to go. Sort of being out the left half of this fairway really opens up the angle to this front right pin that's just 5 off the right edge. I'm not sure it's that good a shot, sir. Just missed her landing spot a fraction, but she's left herself in a decent range putt where you don't feel the pressure to have to make it, so it allows you to freewheel it without expectation, and you find when you're playing well, you make more of those than the average would suggest. Second shot on the way, and in that goes. I'm not sure she knows that's in. It's a superb golf shot for Hwang Yun-seo. Can someone run up and tell her that that's in for a 2 and she's now 1 under par? What are you working on? That was perfect. Goodness me. Clearly not many spectators around the back of 16 all out with the featured group. Couple of holes ahead. Now he won. Just coming up half a club short there. Birdie of her day coming back at 12 for Hee-won. Yun Seo. And look at this again. Just out of the semi-cutter rough, you know, right. Try and land it the far side of that bunker. It's going to take a big first bounce. Take your putt from the back of the green. Gets a little bit of check and rattles in and around and into the bottom of the cup. She still hasn't figured it out. That's remarkable. Goodness me. Now, up ahead to A-Lim, chipping from just off the right of 17. Good touch there. She's realized now putter can go back in the bag. So 1 over par, standing over your second shot. 1 under par, walking off the back of 16th green. Well played, Wang Yun Seo. An eagle 2 to move into red figures. Unsurprisingly, Choi Yun-woo is going to be putting this one. Much more high percentage shot. That one a little bit aggressive. Rush of blood to the head for Choi Yun-woo. Minji. Important to get this one up and down. 73, not a disastrous score in the opening round. Don't lose your focus here and sign for a 74. That's trying to stretch. Putter will come under pressure once more for Park. So ticklish little downhiller for Park Ji-young. Just get it started. We'll want to move a little left. Just doesn't come back, but good for pace. That's all you're trying to do from up there. Get a bit too greedy. You can end up walking off with a very silly 3-putt bogey. A bit like Choi Yun-woo, come to think of it. You're not in a great spot for birdie, but you're in a very uncomplicated situation to try and walk off with a par. And maybe a little bit too greedy, trying to force the issue a little bit. And finds herself with this putt for a par to stay at 2 over par. Haven't seen too many putts from this side of the hole. If anything, should stay pretty straight, and it will be coming back up the hill slightly. Yeah, nicely holed. It's a brave putt, that. Keeps her at 2 over. Come on, Min Byul. Try and finish on a high here. Just a little bit wide. Disappointing inward half of 37 for Kim Min Byul. It'll be an opening round of 73 for the 19-year-old rookie who leads the standings through 3 events this year. Certainly would be some finish from Lee Jung-min. Left to right sidewinder for a 3rd birdie in a row and a round of 72. Could have done with a little more oomph. Still, as birdies at 16 and 17 are going to make her sleep a little bit better tonight. Salvaged what was a quickly backsliding round of golf. Still a 73, but it could have been so much worse for Lee Jung-min. Just to round things off, two of her playing partners already in with 73s. Minjee has this for her 73rd stroke of this opening day. She's won 3 of the 5 majors on the KLPGA Tour. This isn't one of them. And that was pretty much summed up Minjee's afternoon. Hasn't done much wrong, but hasn't done much right either. It's a sloppy bogey at the 18th and a 74 for the 16-time KLPGA Tour winner. Work cut out for her tomorrow if she wants to play herself back into contention here at the 45th KLPGA Championship. Han Jin-seon, meanwhile, on the other side of the golf course, this was a couple of moments ago, to move into the outright lead. Great effort, looked good most of the way, but it's only going to be a par. And a 1 on the scorecard always looks good, doesn't it? Hyo Da-bin. First look at her this afternoon. Currently at 2 under par. Oh, we saw Hwang Yun-seo hole out from a similar spot earlier. Surely not again. Oh, pitched a little soft in that fringe. It's a bit unlucky. It takes a bigger bounce. It will sort of feed on another 6 to 8 feet towards that cup. But now at the 18th. Park Ji-young with a 3-wood. Must avoid that bunker on the right-hand side. And that one looks to be A-OK. Also going with 3 wood, sticking to her game plan. That is a long way down there. Not quite as far as where Lee Jung-min was, but in excellent position up the 18th. With the big stick, Choi Yun-woo. And just gotta be mindful of that bunker on the right. Yeah, good shot indeed. Should catch that downhill slope. It's going to try to. No, it just gets tangled up in the rough, but that's okay. Back out to the 16th hole. Looks like Jung Yun-soo. alongside Hyo Da Bin and Yu Siu Yeon. That's well done. Got plenty of stop on that one for Yun Su, so a chance to return her to level pegging for the day. Left to right a birdie here at the 7th for Chung Si Woo. And that's a rather poor read for Si Woo. Remember, it was 4 under par through 10. Dropped a shot on the par 3 second, her 11th hole of the day. Did just birdie 6, so she could still get to 5 under with 2 holes to go. One of those 2 holes is where we find a lady already on that mark, Han Jin Seon. So he played 2 into the 8th and has just come up short left on this 349 meter par 4. It's the only player on the golf course right now bogey free. And this is, it takes some creativity here. You just see the severity of the bank that she's got to contend with. So club face wide open. Try and land this in the left ridge and have it kick right and release to the hole. And land at the hole, it's just going to shoot right and away from her. Oh, that is very nice. Yeah, couldn't have played that any better. Han Jin Seon, superb touch. Well, to be bogey free in the opening round of a major championship, that'll usually help. Now, left to righter for Kim Hee-ji. No, that one's going to stay right. Had it to 4 under briefly, but she dropped shots at 3 and 5 to sit back at 2 under par. Still, birdie looks aplenty for the next couple of days for Hee-ji. An important par putt here. Keep that momentum rolling along for Han Jin Seon. Should just be inside right edge or right edge of the cup with good holding pace for her. Slips it in the left door, but safely in the bottom of the cup. Very nice up and down from a tricky spot for Han Jin Seon. Keeps her level with Shin Sil at 5 under with just 1 hole left to play in her opening round. And the last hole of the day for our featured group, the par 4 18th. Water really more of a beauty feature. Shouldn't come into play for these ladies unless you really badly pull one to a left pin. Ji Young from the top of the hill. It looks like she's got a slight hanging lie with the ball below her feet. Just have to be careful here. I'd say just the left edge of that TV tower in the distance. If it slides back to the pin, sure, no problems there. If it stays straight, you're not going to run into trouble. Try to take it out of this pin and you leak it right. It could be a bit of a tricky up and down. Yeah, safe shot there to the heart of the green. It's going to leave about a 35-foot putt for Park Ji-young. Choi Yun-woo. A little unlucky that ball got tangled up in the first cut of rough. Could have easily rolled on another 5-10 yards, but looks to be a fairly flattish lie. 111 left. It should be just a 9-iron. Yeah, good distance control, pin high. Chance to end what's been a bit of a frustrating day for Choi Yun-woo with a nice birdie at the last. Been a bit of a case of one step forward, two steps back on this back nine. And she's hanging tough. Now, A-Lim. She's got one more dazzling iron shot in the locker for us. Last to go, bottom of the hill. Can't be anything more than a pitching wedge in the 27-year-old's hands here. Could have done with the club more. 10th year as a touring professional. So left to right. Putt for Hyo Bin at 16. To get to 3 under. Looks good. Oh, just hangs on the high side. But a good roll for Da Bin. You take anything in red figures on day one of a major championship. Red figures at the end of the week, you figure you're going to be right there or thereabouts going into Sunday. It's an old cliche, but it holds so true. Major championships are 72-hole events. You know, they're marathons, not sprints. Even someone like Park Ji-young, with all her struggles today, 73, doesn't mean she's out of it yet. Yes, she has to put something special together tomorrow and on Saturday to leave herself in with a decent chance. But so many things can happen in golf. The number of times we've seen big lead changes, times when the script has been flipped. It's never over till the 72nd hole Sunday. Ji-young up and over, a little rise, moving to the right for a closing birdie. Should be happy to get out of here with a 2-putt par, though. Yeah, pretty good putt pace-wise. That's inside that 2.5-foot comfortable circle. And I have a suspicion she's almost definitely going straight to the driving range, straight to the practice tee after she signs her scorecard. Now, A-Lim. We've seen a couple of players underread this putt. See if she can match up line and pace. So it looks like it started high enough. Is it hard enough? Not quite. But that's the mark of a true quality player. It doesn't feel like she's done too much today. Nothing dazzling about that round, but you add it all up and it's going to be a 3 under par 69. The defending champion has opened her account and signaled her intent for the week. She trails by 2 going into tomorrow. Only 1 bogey in a round of 69 for Kim A-Lim. For Choi Yun-woo, there's an opportunity to match a 73 of Park Ji-young should this one drop. And it's just about that you feel shouldn't break as much as it actually does. I mean, it wants to dive left at the cup, and you're coming downhill at the end. So not an easy read this, but a look for birdie anyway. And I think she'd take a 73. Given the way her day started, being 2 over through 4. Oh, that stayed straight on her. It's just rolled outside of Park Ji-young's marker as well, so Choi Yun-woo has not lost her turn. So we go back to Jang Eun-soo looking to get back to even par with this putt for birdie at 16. Frustrating there. Really good putt. Just dove left at the cup despite carrying quite a bit of pace, so won't find a birdie at 16. Jung Eun-soo. Up at 18, Choi Yun-woo, who kept her card in her first season on the KLPGA Tour in 2015. Exactly 60th on the money list, 10th on the rookie points race that year, eventually won by the lady in the maroon sweater at the top of your screen, Park Ji-young. She's kept her card every year as a professional golfer, and obviously her win last week at Gimhae-gai are going to give her a comfortable 2-year exemption, so not going to have to worry too much about her playing privileges on the KLPGA Tour for some time. Yet to miss a cut this year, she's going to need a decent round of golf tomorrow to keep that streak going. It's a 74 for last week's winner. Share of 75th. 4 bogeys against only 2 birdies on Thursday. Now for Park Ji-young, no player shot more rounds in the 60s in 2022 than this lady. 37 rounds, in fact. Unfortunately, it's not going to be around in the 60s to start her week at the KLPGA Championship in Yangju City. It's an opening round of 73 for the money list leader, Park Ji-young. There's work to be done, but you cannot ever count her out. A brilliant playing from the defending champion, Kim Ae-lim. 69 for her leaves her 2 back of Bang Shin-sil. And this lady waiting back in the 9th fairway, Han Jin-seon, who has already had her shot of the day, possibly of the week. A hole-in-one at 17, starting on the back 9, going out in 32. No drop shots on the card today. Coming out of the right rough on the 9th, her final hole of the afternoon. Don't want to go mucking about with this pin. 5 from the right edge over a deep bunker. But, well, she is clearly feeling it, because that is a superb golf shot from Han Jin-seon, who has that to take the outright lead at the end of day 1. Brilliant shot indeed from Han Jin-seon. Park Gi-yeol just coming off birdie at 6. Inside in 2, so that's going to be a putt to get to 5 under. Like Han Jin-seon starting on the back 9, went out in 32. It's been a very good, steady stroll around Lakewood this week. Starting on the mountain course, coming back in. The back 9's on the forest course. So the Lakes course here as well. As Kim Hee-ji looks to bury this one for a par at 8. The 3rd full season on the KLPGA Tour. Hee-ji, remember, she was locked in a brilliant Rookie of the Year battle 2 years ago with Hung Jung-min and eventual winner Song Ga-eun. Hee-ji's leaking some oil coming home. That's a 3rd bogey in 6 holes. Now, Park Gi-yeol to get to 5 under par, and for the moment make it a 3-way tie for the lead. Just the one win on tour, coming back in 2018 at the Seokyung Networks Ladies Classic. Didn't lose her card until the 2021 season. The kept it with ease at the end of last year. Yeah, well done. Nice birdie. 3 players now at 5 under par. Jinsil in the clubhouse. Jinseon with about an 8-footer for birdie at 9, and Park Giol courtesy of back-to-back birdies. She's got 2 holes to play. Very much in the picture. Yeah, dare I say, we've got some superstar eyeballs on the coverage this afternoon. Just got a text from one Joo Hyung Kim, Tom Kim, 2-time PGA Tour winner, who's enjoying the coverage from, I believe, the UK. So thanks for watching, Tommy boy. Hope you're enjoying some of this golf. Now, Jinseon for a birdie at the last and a round of 66. Oh, that's a shame. That really is. You play so well, and you know what's going to happen. She's going to go back to the clubhouse. You're going to be tied for the lead with a 67. You've had a hole-in-one. You've had a brilliant day at the office. And the first thing she's going to think about leaving Lakewood today is, how on earth did I miss that putt on 9? Yeah, back to 18. And hopefully the final shot in the day of Na Hee-won. Uphill, moving to the left. And moving her to 1 under par. That's a nice way to finish. And Na Hee-won, who broke through last year for her maiden tour title. Birdie 16, birdie 18. Shares 20th at 1 under. Slippery one down the hill for Hyo Da-bin. I don't think it's going to get there. I think she's got a bit of a knee knocker left. Those are those uncomfortable putts you hate to have. And it's also that putt that, sort of from that angle, that people have misread quite a bit. Most of those putts we've seen were for birdies, and everyone's missed that left. Hopefully Da-bin gets that right. Still probably thinking about that missed birdie putt on Jinseon. She's mixed it up in some big events before. Was right in the thick of things at the Hana Financial Group Championship and the final group with eventual winner Kim Soo-ji last year. Getting comfortable being on this big stage. It's only a par to finish for Han Jinseon. She'll match Bang Shin Sil's effort of 67. But a hole-in-one on 17. Surely worth at least a smile coming off the last. Well, it was certainly a very exciting way to get back to red figures for Hwang Yun-seo. Holding out with that second shot on 16. This would be a nice way to finish. Birdie putt that should move a little left as it comes downhill towards the hole. No, that's just cruel. Great putt, but hey, it's golf. Not all great putts go in. So 1 under par round of 71. Inside the top 20. Lots of golf to be played this week at Lakewood Country Club. Just 28 kilometers north of the capital. Okay. For my money, this one's got to be inside right. If she starts this on the left edge, I don't think it's dropping. Yeah, there it is. Such a tricky read, that spot. Pays the price for not finding the correct section of this 17th green. 1.2 billion won, 1.3 billion won prize purse up for grabs this week. Just a touch over 234 million to the champion. First major of the season, and we'll roll along to the Korean Women's Open next month at Rainbow Hills, and to the Hanwha at Jade Palace, KB Financial Group Star Championship at Blackstone in Incheon, and then we end the year at the Haik Jinro at beautiful Blue Heron Golf Club. 5 majors on the KLPGA Tour. Biggest prizes in the game in South Korea. At the moment, a pair of 67s lead. Bang Shin-sil and Han Jin-seon Park Gi-yeol still with 2 holes to go. You have 3 leaders at 5 under par. 2021 Rookie of the Year Song Ga-eun leads the pack at 4 under, and Kwon Seo-yeon rounding up your top 8 with a round of 69 here in the closing stages of day 1 at the KLPGA Championship. Well, the shadows lengthening late in the evening here in South Korea as we just approach 6 p.m. Chung Si-woo, one hand off the club. Bit of the Hideki Matsuyama there. It's not disastrous, Si-woo. Pin high. A chance to make it a quartet of players at 5 under par. Hee-ji. We saw Han Jin-seon get one close from sort of a similar spot. Takes a brave shot to do so, because if you don't pull it off, well, that's the result. Short-sided in that trap. Well, don't forget she was at 4 under par at one stage and in danger of finishing off her round at even if she doesn't get that up and down. Now Park Gi-yeol at the 8th. See that does play slightly uphill. This second shot, pins all the way in the back left. That's a good sensible shot to the heart of the green. Really don't want to miss this green left, because if that ball doesn't kick back down, you are in a world of trouble. Very delicate, tough to judge, but the action has been good so far on day one here at Lakewood. Gi-yeol, uphill, decent look here from mid-range. Definitely want to give this one a bit of a wrap. Greens have slowed up a bit in the last half hour or so. Surely that's not going to stretch. Oh. Well, can't blame anyone but yourself, can you? You know it's going to be slow and you still leave it a good 3 feet short. Gosh, golf is a frustrating game at times, isn't it? Why do we play it? Imperfectible, endlessly frustrating. Just the odd bright spot here and there. Now, Kim Hee-ji splashing out of the sand. So I chop the legs out from under this, release that right hand under, get it nice and high and releasing. And well, that's nicely played indeed by Kim Hee-ji. Projected cut line sitting at 1 over par. Again, the cut's going to be made tomorrow, those 60 and ties. There is a birdie look here to try and get Chung Si-woo into its share of that lead at 5 under. Third player in this group, Bae Soo-yeon, having an absolutely rotten day. 2 under to the turn, but a double-double start followed by 3 straight bogeys leave her at 5 over now. But Si-woo has this to sign with for a 67. The third 67 recorded this Thursday. The line. Only the par. 68, nothing to thumb your nose at. It's been a very good day's work for Chung Si-woo. Pushing the 4th with Song Yuri and Kerry Park. Kim Hee-ji. Fairly straight this. Those putts you practice countless times in a practice putting green at the local club growing up. Well done. Really nice up and down. It's been a bit of a struggle across the line for Kim Hee-ji, dropping 3 shots in her last 7 holes, but a nice up and down at the last, and she signs for a 71. Uphill putt for her part to head to her final hole in a 3-way tie. Okay. Nicely done. Good up and down. Good 2-putt, I should say. Park Gyo. Just that one blemish to come back at the par 3 second. Board of champions sitting behind this 9th tee box. Women who have lifted this trophy in the last decade or so. England last year, Hyun Kyung 2 years before that, Hee-jin Choi. The first winner at Lakewood way back in 2018. Gets that one to release and scamper on down. Stays short of the bunker, that's fine. Well, there have been plenty of highlights here on day 1 at the KLPGA Championship. Nice birdie there for Song Ga-eun. Splendid in pink. Started her day with a bogey at 10, but a couple of birdies at 11 and 13. Got her heading in the right direction. Two-time champion here, 2-time back-to-back champion Park Hyun Kyung was making some good moves. Par at the 10th and an early birdie at the 11th for her. One of those 2 titles did come here at Lakewood. As the temperature started to warm up a little bit later in the day, and Song would continue to play some very fine golf. Shedded the pink waterproofs and found a 3rd birdie in a 5-hole stretch. And at 17. Some good putts being holed early doors. That one dropping in for young Hwang Yo-min, just turned pro last year. It hasn't been the smoothest transition for her. I know I said we had top 20 player in the men's world golf rankings, Tom Kim. He and this young lady do share a coach, Kwan Seo-yeon. Playing a lovely shot into the 18th hole, en route to a birdie. She would eventually sign for a round of 69. I had the pleasure of playing with her in the Pro-Am of the Singapore Women's Open at the end of last year, and she was impressed and slightly mortified by my one-handed chipping. More on that another time. And Song Ga-eun would continue to add shots onto the highlight reel. Had a lovely birdie at the 18th to take her out in 33. Was not done yet. Remember how impressive she was at Pochen Adonis, staring down Min-ji Lee to win her breakthrough title at the Hana Financial Group Championship, en route to that Rookie of the Year honor a couple years ago. Well, the putter was working beautifully. The iron game was in great form. And that was 3 birdies on the bounce for Song Hyun Kyung. down the hill at 17. We saw it a lot in the afternoon. Nobody read this putt right, but she is one of the best putters on tour for the last couple of seasons. She certainly knows a thing or two about these greens at Lakewood. A nice birdie there for Park Hyun Kyung. Long, tricky bunker shot across the length of this 7th green. Judge very nicely indeed. Of course, it doesn't matter unless you make the putt, but she was on an absolute tear. Kwon Seo-yeon, birdie there at the 7th. Will be her final of the day. Starting out at the first, the defending champion Kim Hae-lim signaled her intent early. This excellent shot, pulling the string, giving herself a great look at an opening birdie at the par 5 first. She would go on to convert that one. And Lee So-young got back in the winner's circle last year at the Daiwina MBN Ladies Open. Didn't think she held that one, but it drops in the side door. And that was to take her to 2 under par through her first 4 holes. Moves this into the 18th. Up and in you go. A lovely eagle 2. A birdie 3, beg your pardon, after she had to chip out of trouble. We saw that early doors in our coverage. That was a nice way to head to the turn. And 34 shots for Kim So-yi. So-young will continue to keep her putter hot. Late on the back 9, went out 34. A couple of putts failed to find their mark, even though they were well struck. That one found its target. The birdie at 14, unfortunately, would be the last of her day. Missed a great chance on 18, but at 69 to open for the now 6-time KLPGA Tour champion. Kim continue to try to make a bit of a run on the inward stretch. That was a nice birdie at 13, taking her to 2 under par. US Women's Open champion was making a move, and well, this was a surprise for everyone, least of all Hwang Yun-seo. 1 over, standing over that shot, 1 under, walking off the green. Yes, it did go in. Stick the putter back. She would eventually record a round of 1 under par 71. Park Gi-yeol, who struggled and battled to keep her tour card through most of the seasons on the KLPGA Tour, the 2018 Seokyeong Networks Classic champion, kept it with ease back in 2022, and she has found some early season form here at Lakewood. That was a lovely up and down at 7 to get her to 5 under par and into a 3-way tie for the lead with Bang Shin-sil and Han Jin-seon. Beautiful birdie at the closing hole for Na Hee-won to end off with a pair of birdies in her last 3 in a round of 71. So, well, that'll just about do it for day 1 coverage here at the 45th KLPGA Championship. 3 players tied at the top of the leaderboard. Bang Shin-sil, the 19-year-old, Han Jin-seon, who just broke through for her breakthrough title last season, and Park Gi-yeol. Still a little bit of action to go in the closing stages of this opening round. actually safely on this 9th green in 2. Pin high, outside chance for a birdie there. Now Park Gi-yeol could take the outright lead if she can stick on in close here at her final hole of the day. Stick one in close, she does. Just releases on a smidge. But that's going to be for a round of 66. That is some playing on day 1 of a major championship. Dion hasn't really had much going after a couple of early birdies. She's been on a par train over the last 11 holes. Yep, safely in the middle of the green there. So still, look at a round of 69 for the Hanwha Classic champion of 2021. 5 years removed from her only win on tour. Got herself at top of the pile after day 1 at the KLPGA Championship. We swing back out to the 18th and Hyo Da-bin for a closing birdie. Watch this one snap hard left, but it's not hit with enough conviction. There goes another one, bites the dust. Just drifting. The low side of the cup. Quite a cross country effort, but certainly a lengthy birdie look here at the 9th for Kim So-yi. Just coming off a birdie at 8, so she's at 3 under. There's been some fantastic scoring in this group. Da-bin with a stinky little comebacker. Always awkward for Ryan golfers when putts break away from you to the right. Just got to keep that head down, keep that putt accelerating through. No peaking. Easy to lose it low if you peak. Or high if you jam it through the break. That's a really inexcusable way to finish your day. A 3-putt bogey at the last. You can see the disappointment. It's bogey end to what was otherwise a pretty solid opening round of golf. She'll scribble her name next to a level past 72. There's been some pretty good scoring in this group. Gi-yeol's at 5 under, So-yi's at 3. Dion has this to get to 3. That's 38. That's where the birdies were at today. Only combined for 3 bogeys between the 3 of them. It'll be slow though for Dion late in the evening. Gave that a good run. Only a 70. But she's lurking. I mentioned, always plays a limited schedule. Doesn't tee it up all the time, but it's fresh and ready and very dangerous when she does. Opportunity. She's never led after a round of a major championship. This to go into Friday with the solo lead. Counting the time with Jin Seong and Shin Seul is for a birdie and a 66. Just lacked a little conviction. It's a very good day for Park Gi-yeol. 67 matching the efforts of Bang Shin-sil and Han Jin-seon. It's a three-way tie for the lead at the end of day one. Here at the 45th KLPGA Championship, the first of 5 majors on the KLPGA Tour this year. 1.3 billion Korean won prize pot. Plenty of points as well. It's a coveted prize, and it's 3 who sit atop the board at 5 under par right now, with 4 at 4 under, including Jung Si-woo, former Rookie of the Year, Song-ga and Jun Yu-ri in the resurgent Carey Park. And for Kim So-yi, this little tiddler remaining for a round of 69. Yeah, good 2-putt. Nicely hold there from So-yi. 69 for her. Just the one bogey coming at her second hole round the turn. Lee Dae-yeon. Round of 70. Major titles under her belt. She'd love to add a KLPGA Tour Championship to that as well. Yeah, nicely hold. Great scoring from the 3-ball in match 38. Gi-yeol with a 67, So-yi with a 69, and Dae-yeon with a 70. 3 early birdies, but just a string of pars to close for Lee Dae-yeon. And that brings the curtain down on another excellent day of golf in South Korea, and we were treated to some spectacular playing from the 3 ladies at the top of the board, and anyone on the first page of the leaderboard for that matter. But it's Bang Shin-sil, Han Jin-seon and Park Gi-yeol who lead the way after day one here at the KLPGA Championship. 2021 Rookie of the Year Song-ga Eun headlines the group at 4 under par. Kwon Seo-yeon in her sophomore season sits in the group at 3 under par, which includes the defending champion Kim A-lim and Lee So-young. Dae-yeon's round of 70 just good enough to leave her inside the top 20 alongside Im Jin-hee. That just about wraps it up for our coverage here on day one at the KLPGA Championship. We do hope you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to your company. Same time, same place tomorrow afternoon. But until then, from South Korea, this is Timothy Loh saying bye-bye for now.